Hi all. In this video, we'll be talking about Assignment 3 implementation. So to begin with, I have already provided the zip file. Download this zip file, and this zip file contains all the files in one place. So when you download the zip file, all you have to do is to navigate Visual Studio Code to the folder where you have downloaded all these files. So this is where all the files are provided for you. And this assignment primarily tests the concept of inheritance and then composition. In inheritance, we are only testing single inheritance through this assignment. So the idea of this assignment is that there will be a base class called item, and this base class will be inherited by rice class, and in addition, another class called as protein. So now your task is that you are implementing something like a lunch bowl ordering machine where you're writing a software so that this software allows the workers in a lunch bowl to accept orders from the user with certain specifications and then tell the user that this is the amount of the lunch bowl and these are the number of calories in the items that you have ordered. That's what this should facilitate. So between these three classes, you will be implementing the logic of single inheritance. Okay. And then when you order items, these items are like having inheritance. And after ordering the items, you are creating a composite class called lunch bowl. So this is another class. And the specialty of this class lunch bowl is that this class rice and an object of this class is a member of lunch bowl. So composition means lunch bowl has a rice item, lunch bowl has a protein item. Rice is an item, protein is an item. Is a relationship is inheritance, has a relationship is composition. So you are creating a composition relationship through rice and protein. So the task is simple. When your original code runs, let me show how the code implementation will be. I'm switching back to the place where I have solution. So this is the provided main file. You don't need to worry about it. And let me compile the code. I'll come back to the compiling instructions in a while. And to run the code, this time you will be simply doing /lunch bowl and nothing else. Sometimes antivirus stops it, but that's okay. Let's allow. Just one more pop-up. Yeah. So if you run the file, think of it like a lunchbox, real-time software that you have written and you're actually taking order from the user. So if the user wants to place an order, yes, what type of rice he wants, whether he or she wants white rice or brown rice. So let's say brown rice. And then do the user is requesting for any specific portion of rice, like small, medium, and large. You can choose the choice. And then coming to protein part, we are presenting the user with three options of protein: chicken, steak, and sofritas. So let's say steak. And then if you want to allow the user to give any preparations tips, this is where, like how they want it to be cooked, like that, grilled chicken or something like that. So here, if I'm choosing not to give any specifications, let's say NA, and then once I give all these details, the system should give the lunch bowl in this manner. Like this lunch bowl includes rice, and particularly the item is brown rice of medium box size, and it has 310 calories. And the price of this rice bowl part is $2.50. And coming to protein, steak is the option that the user has chosen, and the user did not give any preparation tips, but it has 150 calories and $7.25 is the cost. So notice that for every item, you have to display the name, any specifications that the user is giving in addition, and then you have to display the calories and the price. Eventually, overall, with this lunch bowl, it'll be like 460 calories, and the cost of this lunch bowl is around $9.75. That's what your system should compute once you have all the code in place. Now, the PDF contains almost every detail that you guys would be using. So I have all the protected private and public members of item class listed here. So in this assignment, you will be writing class definition in header file. For instance, for item.h, you will be writing all the function prototypes here, only the prototypes, notice. And when it comes to item.c++, this is where you would be implementing the function bodies. Like for example, in item.h, if you see, we are expecting a constructor called string item. And if you scroll down, I have given the details here. So item, it should accept name of type string. So let me complete it. So item is a constructor. It takes only parameter of string type called name, and we are done. That's it. And now coming to item.c++, this is where you have to initialize or write the constructor body. There are two ways you can write it. One way is to, you can choose to write it in this way, name of name. The other way is to, you can choose it to write it this way. It's up to you, your choice, totally no issues on that. If you're opting to write inside the constructor body, get rid of the colon here. So in this way, you will be writing prototypes here, and you will be writing or defining the function bodies here. So now we are actually separating class definition and the implementation logic here. So item.h contains the structure of the class, and item.cpp contains the actual logic behind that class structure. In the similar way, you're expected to write the logic for all of this. Write the prototypes, write the definitions. And in some instances where you would be calling base class constructor, a different function from a base class, etc., I have given all the details in the PDF. For example, consider the rice class. Rice class does not have a member name directly, but it is inheriting the member name from the base class item. So what you should be doing is, you should be calling the base class constructor. So here we are mentioning that, highlighting that part, emphasizing that part. And whenever you are writing derived class constructor, the way we call base class constructor is that right after giving the constructor header here, you can, write it in a new line as well. That's fine. Give a colon, and then make sure you call item class constructor, which only accepts name, and for name here. So in this way, a derived class, rice can call base class constructor. And also, you will be seeing something called as hash include if and def, hash if and def. This means if not defined. So here we are defining item underscore h. So if it was not defined previously, then only define it. And I'll explain what this hash define is in class tomorrow. And in this manner, you have to proceed and write each and every function. And notice that I have given all the details like how something should happen. And another thing, if you notice when we run the program, was that we are not asking the user for calories or price. The way it should be done was, like, let's say if the user is choosing rice, whatever the type it is, for instance, like we are not classifying based on the type, no matter whether it is brown rice or white rice. What we are suggesting is that if you're opting for small portion of rice, then you should be, you know, giving rice quantity such that it will be 210 calories. So something like this. Within the rice constructor, set the box size value with that of box size. And yeah, use this pointer to avoid confusion. And once you have the box size determined, Based on that, what you can do is, if the box size is small, then you should set calories. But take a minute, notice the details of inheritance here. This assignment is covering a lot of concepts. Rice class does not have calories or price or name, whereas item class do have name and calories and price. And the way calories and price are placed, they are in protected scope. Protected scope means derived class can access these directly. And that concept you can use here. So you can directly set the calories to 210 if the box size is small. You can directly set the price, which is a member of base class, to $2 if the box size is small. In this way, you have to complete the logic of calories and price for what if the box size is medium and large. So that's pretty much what you will be doing in this constructor. And there's also another concept that we are touching here is that every class that you are writing in this assignment will have a function called print info. So there will be a print info here. And the role of print info is to just to display some information. It's not modifying any object. So in those instances, we are using this qualifier called as constant. So just be careful where and all it says constant. Please use that qualifier constant. So here I have void constant. Maybe in the PDF, if I missed it, I'll upload it with some corrections, but do follow the UML diagrams to do that. And one more instance is that in Rice also, you will be having the same function declared. Print info, it doesn't modify anything in Rice. So it's going to be of constant function. And then you have the function header part here. And within Rice, you will be writing the body of print info. And for writing body of print info, I've given each and every step, like what should be done in the first line, what should be done in the second line. And when from Rice dot h, if you're calling item function, you have to call it in this way. So this is the concept of function overriding. If you are in derived class, if you want to call the base class function, then you have to use the base class name because of function overriding, because both the classes have print info. And yeah, eventually, when it comes to lunch ball, you will be implementing protein.h in a similar manner. For each protein option, you will be selecting, the user is selecting, you will be determining the amount of calories and the cost. And eventually, in lunch ball, when you have the constructor with two objects, rice and protein, all you have to do is to set rice with rice and protein with protein, and then calculate total calories and total price here. So, so total calories you can get from rice. So notice that I'm using an object called rice, and from this object, I'm accessing its member called get calories. Similarly, price. So this is how each and every class should be implemented with details, and all of them were captured in the PDF. So please go through this PDF, and if you have any questions, do let me know. And last but not least, how do we compile the program? So let me go back to the provided folder. Yeah, this is where I have the key. Yeah. So now the idea of this command is that for main.c++ to run, it has to have a host of functions. Some functions are coming from item, some are coming from rice, some are coming from protein, and all of these are interlinked. Okay, so when there are multiple files that are interlinked, one file is using some content from the other file, what we will do is we will compile them generally together. And the idea here is that in the compilation process, we have lots of entities like compiler, whereas compiler checks for rules, whether your code was written as per the rules or not. And then we have something called as a preprocessor. What preprocessor does is it will look for all hash includes, and it will replace the hash includes with appropriate code coming from that libraries. That's what a preprocessor does. And lastly, there is an entity which is spoken about or less discussed about, which is called as linker. The role of this linker is that when we are doing G++ with many files like main.cpp, item.cpp, and so on. Each one, each one will be compiled separately. Through this single command, each one would be compiled separately, and so on. And this linker entity, what it will do is it will take all the compiled files and give you one single file which is ready to run, called as lunch bowl. And remember, this is the name that we are giving here in the command -o. So the role of linker is that when you have many files, each of the file would be compiled, checked for compilation rules, syntax rules and stuff. All the preprocessors are appropriately replaced, and all these compiled files are put together into a single file by the linker. So this could be the first time you could be playing around with linking of compiled files or multiple object files or whatever it is, and you're making into one single file which is executable called lunch bowl, and all you have to do is to simply run the lunch bowl. Okay, just a second. Oh, my bad. I was running this here. Yeah, yeah. So now once it compiles, you will see a file called a lunchbowl.exe. All you have to do is to launch it, and the successful execution should give you code that is based on main, and it should run without any errors. It should give you the appropriate results. So that's pretty much about this assignment. Thank you.